Hello my beautiful creatives and welcome back to my art channel. My name is Chrissie B and I'm a creativity coach hoping to inspire you to live a more creative life every day. Now we will be working our soul books today and we will be doing part 2 of our little treasure boxes that we are creating inside of our soul books. So if you don't remember what those are, let me show you in 2 of my altered books. Basically these treasure boxes are little secret compartments that we're creating in the back of our in this instance, it's an altered book. And here's another one. Basically, it's a place where you can tuck some secret goodies away in the back of your book. And because even though we are working in a soul book, which is a sketchbook, I figured it's an altered book. So why not try and do the same kind of thing back here? So last week we prepped this by gluing all the edges together, and today we are going to do the next step. So the first thing I did was, I know that there will be an image poking through the door that I'll create here, and I want to choose that image first because that image will tell me how big of an opening I need to have to make sure that I can see my image. So I have selected an image from the Flow magazine that I had done a flip through earlier this week, and I'm going to just mark where that is on roughly. It doesn't have to be pretty because this will all be covered. Oops. And the hole that I want to create, the hole for my box that I want to create will actually be a little bit smaller than this. So I have my kind of guidelines already kind of penciled in. I just did that. And I'm going to take a quilting ruler so I can line up my lines to make sure that everything is nice and square. And just draw some lines out. Again, none of this will be seen, so none of this matters. Except for the fact that you want to make sure that your box is the size that you want it to be. And you can choose as large or as small of a box as you want. Okay, and this is where the patience part comes in. You're going to want to take a metal ruler and you're going to want to use an X-Acto knife of some sort. I have this kind and I have a finger kind, although I'm not sure the finger kind will work because the blade is so small. But I'm going to try it anyways. And you're just going to make a few passes because you're not going to do this in one fell swoop. I guarantee it's going to be done in a few fell swoops. Use your ruler as a guide and just kind of keep doing that until you get to the back page of your book. And this is why I say you'll need some patience because this will take a little while. Okay, so I have gotten that completely cut out. You'll see that I did actually cut into my book, which is fine, as long as I didn't go through, which I did not. So I'm going to then size my image to kind of see where I want to lay it. Make sure I lay it straightish. You know, very scientific here. And that's what it's going to look like. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to mark where my image is going to go. And I'm going to mark it here and here. And I'm going to grab my gel medium and get it open, if I can get it open. And I'm going to grab a brush. And I'm going to basically put gel medium over this back area. And I can do the whole thing. It's totally fine. Okay, be kind of generous. I really do want it to be completely adhered down my image. Let me grab a card here. It's like an old hotel key card. So that way once I get my image down, I can really smooth it down. Line it back up with the marks I've already made. and use my key card to kind of scrape it down. It doesn't matter at this point if you get gel medium on the outside of the image, because you will be sealing it soon here anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to gel medium the whole thing, including the image, to seal it in place, and then also to prep closing the book so that I'm actually gluing the treasure box down so that there will be a permanent base on it versus this open hole that we have at the moment. Okay, again, does not be perfect, but I want a good amount, especially since I'm using gel medium, I want there to be a really good amount of glue here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to close the spine close the book onto the page that we just created. So that way your treasure box is now kind of mooshed in. And open that back up again. You may have some glue on this page, which is fine. I'm just going to use my finger to smooth it, because again, that doesn't really matter. I see a couple of areas where it kind of popped up a little bit. So I'm just going to smooth my glue, grab some more gel medium, and what I want to do is I want to then glue all of the inside edges, because last week we glued all of the outside edges of paper together, but we didn't do the inside. So now we're going to do the inside. Okay, so now what I want to do is, now that I can see that everything's kind of either juicy with glue or completely glued down, I'm going to take the page right next to it and I'm going to close it. Okay? Because we're going to start, even though it's not dry, we're going to start to create the doorway. Like our treasure box has a door. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create this little door that happens here. Okay? And to do that, the first thing you're going to do is you're just going to glue that first page down. Now be careful when you push on this, especially since this is such a big opening. You don't want to push it so flat that it actually sticks to your image down there. But we have one page adhered down, and that's going to be a permanent thing, so we want to make sure that all of the edges are really glued down. Oops, and I'm making a mess. So I just want to make sure this is all really, really, really glued down. I don't want it to be partway glued down or sort of glued down. I want it really, really, really glued down. And I kind of want it as straight as I can get it. And because of a big bubble in it, I'm going to close it again. Now, one page is not going to be enough to have a door. You want a door with some substance. So we're going to do one more page. So I'm just going to glue all over. So I want to double this up. Okay, so now we have two pages stuck down, and I'm going to close it, and I'm going to actually weight it and let it completely dry, and then I'll show you what we do next on it. So I will be back in a few minutes. So I think, even though it's not completely dry, I think we're ready to cut our door out. And to do that, you're going to need your X-Acto knife again, and you're going to feel for where you can feel through your door where the box actually lays. So you use your box that you've already created kind of as your guide. Whoops, don't worry about that, because you can always cover that, because we're still going to art this up. And then you just kind of push it back a little bit to fold it. Okay? You can clean up this edge if you want to. I don't like doing that. I don't generally clean up my edge. I don't generally clean up my edge by cutting it. I clean up my edge by putting another layer of glue on, and then all the little hair things kind of like stick down. But that's generally it. I mean, that's generally the gist of how to do that. It's super easy. I'll probably put a piece of ribbon or something, a button maybe, to kind of have something to grab onto to open that door. But now we have a little treasure box in the back of our little thing here. It's kind of cool, isn't it? I have room to put maybe some letters in here, a couple notes, maybe a couple cards of some sort. I still am going to come back here and decorate this. I'm not sure with what yet, but I will figure that out as I go along. As you know, my soul book kind of evolves very naturally. The only other thing I wanted to share with you today, because I know this video is going to get a little bit long, is we had cut out some wavy pages, and I just kind of want to give you a heads up on that. I've started the process of coloring each one a separate color, and I want to do something to them so that they're kind of cool, that you can see all of the different designs from the top here, from each of the wavy tops. We did cut the wavy tops off and save them because we can always tip these in someplace else. You know, you could tip them in just like that, and then you have this cool little stair-stepping kind of page layout that you've got there that you can do something cool with. You can do it that way, or you can tip it in that way. So now you have like little ocean waves. Who knows? That could be kind of cool. The other thing that I had done was I had taken these and used them as a template to cut out some craft sheet. So I had some craft sheets cut about the same size as my soul book page, and then I did some new tops with them, so now I automatically have these cool little wavy tops. I also created duplicates of the small tops, so I can either choose to glue just these 4 or adhere these 4 and like tip in. I can put all 8 of them in there if I'm feeling really froggy. I can do all of that all at once. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I don't think I'm going to do all 4 of them. I think that's a little bit overkill. Plus, I like my soul book to get, you know, fat alligator so it doesn't actually close terribly well, except I do want it to make sure that the spine stays pretty relatively sound. So that is that. The other thing that we had done was, well, we did this. We'll work on that another day. And we did rip out, instead of doing like a detailed wavy set, we also did a torn set, which we kept. You can also tip those in someplace else in your book and do something neat with those. Now, I don't know if you know how to tip in, so let me just give you a really quick tutorial on how to do that. You're going to use a glue stick, and you will want to select some washi tape. Now, because it's me, I always choose multiple washi tapes because I like to have lots of colors. And for this first one, I'm just going to use orange. And I'm going to put my washi tape down first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my washi, it's going to be a little bit longer than my tip in, and I'm going to have it kind of overhanging off the edge by half. Okay? So nothing very scientific about that, but I'll make sure that's on. Trim my washi at both ends. There's a lot of skittering on the floor going on right now. Let me just tell you, it was a gorgeous day here in the Pacific Northwest yesterday, and because of that, I had all of the windows open and the screen door open. And I forgot to close there's a little window in the screen door that I forgot to close, and apparently I let a fly in. And so my dogs, which are rat terriers, are trying to get this fly. They have become the great and mighty fly hunters. So just in case you were curious, I know you were, weren't you? So what I'm doing is I'm just running my glue stick down one side of my spine, and I'm going to fold the washi tape back and try to get this into the corner as close to the spine as possible. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I like it pretty close. And just kind of mush that in. Then I'm going to take my glue stick and I'm going to smear some glue on either side, because I want to do the same thing with another piece of washi tape. And this is the part where it gets a little bit tricky, because you need to get the washi down into the spine. So what I try to do is I cut my washi and then I try to fold it backwards on itself, kind of pinch the ends, and I'm going to put it in little by little. And it's not going to be perfect, but really perfect in this instance is just making sure that the darn thing stays. Okay, I'm gonna take the bone folder, I'm gonna kind of jab it in there. Just kind of smooth out your little bumps. And then I'm gonna leave that there till it completely dries. And then once it dries, I will then have the ability to come back and trim my edges to make sure that the tape fits perfectly. So that's one. You just do the same thing over and over again, but that's why you kind of pay attention to where these are going. In my instance, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm not gonna put the second one quite to the spine. I'm going to butt it up against the edge of the tape there. I am gonna use a different color. And I'm going to tip it in, not at the spine, but at a little further up on the page. And the tape is cool, but the tape really is completely utilitarian at this point. So it doesn't necessarily have to be shown. Matter of fact, you could technically completely hide the tape so you don't have to see it at all if you wanted to. So there's that. I'm just gonna do the same thing, except now that I'm not in the spine, I don't have to worry about making sure that it's quite so pressed into that space, because you're kind of dealing with a little bit of a flatter surface at this point. And now I'm gonna do the very last one, which is this shorter one. And I'm gonna butt it up against the edge of the tape, like I had done already. Run my glue stick down both the paper and the washi that's sitting there. If you get too much glue stick on there, just grab a baby wipe and wipe that off, or you can use a wet paper towel, that works too. And grab a third type of washi, cut myself a piece. This one has letters on it, so I want it to go a certain direction because I'm weird that way. And I want to get that down. Let's see. There we go. I thought that for sure that was going to wrinkle, but nope. Seemed to do okay. And then flip, give that a little fold. Kind of crease that down. Same thing. Do some glue. Okay. If you get glue anywhere you don't want it, just rub it with your finger. The heat from your body and the friction that you cause will cause the glue stick, at least for a Yoo-hoo glue stick, it causes the glue stick to bubble up, and then you can completely remove any stickiness that you don't want it to be there, if any stickiness you don't want. If only life were that easy. Okay. And that is how I'm going to tip these in. Now you have this little cool thing to do that you can do something else against. Maybe I'll just use this as a piece of art, like a background for a piece of art of some sort. But now I've got 3 little extra pages stuck in there. And you can do that with as many or as little of those pages, those little extra pages that you've cut out. I will tip in these 4 because I want to. I hope that this project was inspiring. I hope it gave you an idea of something you could do in your own sew book. I really am super jazzed about the idea of doing this back here. So until next time, bye for now.